Warning, this podcast contains themes of extreme violence and murder. Subject matter may be offensive to some listeners. Discretion advised.
Welcome to another episode of Evil Transgression, your homicide headquarters here in podcasting. I am Josh, and with me as always, Dustin and Rex.
What's going on?
Hey, what's up?
See the anticipation.
Yeah,
That was nice.
Like they didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
Who's he going to say today?
I was waiting I should have kept it longer and people would be like, oh my God, my phone's messing up.
And then by the time they get it out to look at it, you'll have already said it.
Yeah.
Right.
That would have been funny.
How's everybody doing?
We're here.
It's been a rough week.
It has.
It's been a rough week. 9/11, the 20th anniversary of 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
The Buckeyes.
The Buckeyes suck.
We don't even want to talk about that.
That was pretty bad.
I'm done with college football this year. After the second game, I'm done.
Don't forget, we lost to Virginia Tech also a couple of years ago. And what did we do?
Well, yeah, but I had a little bit more hope out of that defense than when I did this one. So.
Yeah,
This defense is terrible.
So it's been a rough week.
it has.
It has. Oh, and the Bengals are about to play, and they're going to lose. The
Yeah.
Browns are going to get beat today.
Oh, no.
Let's not get into this. Like I said, it's been a rough week already.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be a good way to end it, though. Both of our teams losing.
No, that wouldn't be a good way.
That'd be a great way to end it.
Who do you guys play?
Minnesota.
You're going to lose.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know.
Minnesota
I don't know.
sucks.
We have all Minnesota on our team. Like the entire Minnesota coaching staff and everything is now in Cleveland. So
We got Trey Waynes from Minnesota, and we got him last year. He didn't play at all last year, and he's not playing today.
cool.
So
Well, we picked up Jadeveon Clowney, and he's already hurt.
Good
He
stuff.
hasn't played a game, so
yeah, well, he sucks anyways.
shut up. But enough of boring sports.
I know.
Yes.
Let's get into murder.
Medell.
There was a really bizarre case I was going to talk about that just happened in the news. I can't remember what it was. Do you remember something crazy happening?
No.
I don't even listen to the news.
Mm.
It was some around here?
I remember what it was now. It was the story about John Henry Ramirez. Have you heard this? The Texas inmate that got the stay of execution because they wouldn't allow a pastor to touch his head or a priest to touch his head in the death chamber. Wouldn't let him in.
Yeah.
Gave him a stay of execution
Wow.
because they wouldn't allow a religious person in the death chamber with him.
I don't know why they wouldn't.
I'd say, oh, that's just too bad. Get in the chair. This guy killed a convenience store worker 17 years ago, more than 17 years ago,
Yeah.
for $1.25.
Oh, man.
$1.25. He stabbed the guy like 20 some times, I believe. Yeah.
I never understood that. Like, why not just
yeah, me
take the
neither.
shit and go?
Well, that and, just anytime you hear of somebody stabbing somebody else 20, 30, 40 times, that's insane to me.
Yeah. This guy stabbed him 29 times. That's what it was.
I'm pretty sure one time would be enough. Like, just, I'm taking your shit
Yeah.
and stab you once.
Yeah.
It was all over drugs, too. They were like on a drug binge.
Wow.
And they needed money for drugs. So they went into this store, tried to rob it, stabbed the guy 29 times, walked out with a little over $1.
You know what I think they should do?
What?
I think they should kill him 29 times.
With a...
Ooh.
You know what they should do?
Kill him.
Here's what I
Bring
was
him back.
thinking
Kill
the
him
other
again.
day. This is brutal. It's probably a little bit twisted for me to even think this, but they Because, and it would never happen because they're all like, we don't want them to suffer when we're killing them dead. But you know what I think should be a method of execution?
What's that?
Drowning.
Man, horrible.
Think of this though. Check it out. I've already worked out the deets.
Okay.
We chain them to the floor of this room, right? Like they're the only person in this room. You shut the door. They're standing there, got their ankle shackled to this bolt on the floor, almost like some Saw stuff. The door's shut. It's all sealed off. Water starts coming in from the top.
Yeah,
right?
just
Fills the room up because it looks like an aquarium. Fills the room up. Boom. And they drown.
It doesn't even have to be a full-size room. Just, you ever seen one of those magician boxes where it's just big enough for them to fit in? Yeah.
Yeah.
Chain them to that.
And if they get out of the chains, they get to live.
No.
Or do we redo it? Rechain it back up?
Yeah, redo.
You could even add more excitement to it. Like, as the room starts to fill up, we drop in piranhas. Yeah, right? Drop in piranhas down. And those piranhas that, like, if you throw, like, a turkey, like, out into the water, like, they clean it down to the bones, like, instantly. It would be so cool.
And even the Department of Corrections can make money. They could sell tickets to this stuff.
Yes. Because there's sick people like us out there that are like, bro, we got to watch this.
Yeah.
There's a UFC on tonight. We ain't watching that.
Oh, that's not even right.
So, but yeah, this guy gets a stay of execution because he supposedly is religious now, all of a sudden. And well, I wouldn't say all of a sudden. It's been 17 years now.
Yeah.
He's religious now and wants a pastor to be in the death chamber with him to touch his head. And they won't allow it. So the courts say, we cannot continue with this execution until we get this figured out. So redemption is the main story here.
Yeah.
Redemption. So is he redeemed for being supposedly religious now? Which is going to pertain to our story today.
Ooh.
Redemption. Can an inmate be redeemed?
We're about to find out.
We're going to find out. So buckle up, Evil Mob, as we discuss Karla Faye Tucker. Karla Faye Tucker was born November 18th, 1959 in Houston, Texas. She was the youngest of 3 daughters to parents Larry and Carolyn. Her father, Larry, was a longshoreman on the Gulf of Mexico.
It's a longshoreman.
He's usually out in the shore.
For a long time, or
Like for a long time out on the shore.
He's longshore, man.
I need a little bit of clarity on that.
Well, what do you think a longshoreman is?
Maybe a fisherman?
No, it's not.
I don't know.
That would be a fisherman.
Okay.
A longshoreman is somebody who loads and unloads cargoes
that was my second
on
guess.
ships at a dock or port.
That's what I said.
Yeah, that's exactly what you said.
No, you said he was a fisherman.
I don't know.
Or was he a fisher of men?
Whoa.
That was Jesus.
Yes.
So, Larry, that's where we were. Larry,
Yes.
the Gulf of Mexico, longshoreman, not a fisherman. Karla Faye Tucker's parents did not have a very good relationship. They often argued and fought in front of the children. By 8 years old, Karla was already smoking with her sisters.
Wow.
By 8?
8 years old, puffing on the old Marlboros.
Lucky Strike, no filter.
8 years old, though, it's
That's
a common
crazy.
thing. She didn't just try smoking. She was a smoker at 8.
I have an almost 7-year-old. I can't imagine.
Her lighting up
Yeah.
What's up, Dad?
Oh, I know.
Pass the Marlboros. Karla's parents would divorce when she was 10 years old. It was during this divorce that she learned she was actually a result of an extramarital affair.
Ooh.
Yeah, Mommy had wandered outside the marriage and got pregnant.
Uh-oh.
Mommy getting them cheeks clapped.
Yeah.
That's strange.
I'm just saying, that's a terrible thing to learn at 10 years old.
That would suck.
Yeah.
I bet her smoking went up a notch.
Probably a little bit.
It did. In fact, 2 years later, at 12 years old, Karla started using drugs and began having sex.
Wow.
She's had a pretty rough life so far.
What kind of drugs?
The marijuana.
Oh, okay.
Smoking the marijuana.
So I don't find that as bad, but
Well,
she
I'm sure-
started messing with that heroin and
Well, there was a little bit of other drugs mixed in.
really?
I'm sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah, some pills.
ooh, yeah,
Stuff
those
like
are bad.
that. So Karla, she's going off the deep end already. I guess starting to smoke at 8 was a sign that things were going to go south. Karla dropped out of school at 14 years old and began to follow her mother, Carolyn, who was a rock groupie and into prostitution.
So like Def Leppard.
Not Def Leppard. She was into traveling with the Allman Brothers, the Marshall Tucker Band, and the Eagles.
Ooh,
Yeah, those
Hotel
are all-
California.
No, those are all really good bands.
The
Yeah,
Eagles is
Eagle.
the only one.
Dude, Allman Brothers?
The
Greg and Dwayne Allman,
the
man?
Osmond brothers.
Not the Osmond.
I don't care about Donnie Osmond.
The Allman Brothers.
I don't even know what they sing.
You've never heard the song Midnight Rider?
No.
Sing it for
Not
us.
gonna let 'em catch, no, not gonna let 'em catch the Midnight Rider.
Huh.
You remember that? It's a good one, man. You know that. You know.
Yeah, I've heard it.
Yeah, Allman Brothers, Marshall Tucker. You didn't like Marshall Tucker Band?
No.
You're too young. You
like-
get off the podcast. You're
I
too
like
young.
the
for
I like
this.
the Dave Matthews Band.
Hey,
Hey, Gravedigger. That's a good song.
Gravedigger is a good song.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather hear some Pour Some Sugar on Me.
That's like 80s.
That is 80s.
Yeah.
You listen to Seals and Croft too?
I don't know who that is.
Summer breeze makes me feel fine.
I heard enough of this.
You know who is? I mean, it's a little off subject, but you got me on music now. You know who's very underrated and everyone should listen to?
Minnie Riperton?
No.
I do like her though, dude. She got some good stuff.
Minnie-
Good 70s stuff.
Who is Minnie Riperton?
That song where she sings really high pitched. I think she's like loving you.
It's easy, good.
That's her. She sings one song, "Inside My Love." A lot of people didn't like it because it sounded sexual, even though that wasn't the point of the song.
No, the guys I was thinking of that I think is very underrated. Hall & Oates.
Oh,
Hall & Oates.
yeah,
Sarah Smile. Rich Girl.
Yeah.
Some good ones,
That's good
man.
music.
But when I listen to it, I always feel like I'm like one of those guys that wear like tan shorts and a Hawaiian shirt. So we're way off. We're way off.
Yeah,
We're
we
way
better
off
reel it
course
back.
now. So Karla's mom's a groupie, and she's a prostitute. So she's going to bring Karla along with her. Karla's going to follow in the old footsteps of mommy,
Oh wow.
dabbling in the prostitution and rock groupie traveling. But like I said, all really good bands.
Yeah.
Good taste in music, if you got to say anything.
Yeah, that's true.
At 16, Karla was briefly married to Stephen Griffith, who was a mechanic that she had met. Now, the marriage did not last very long, as you can imagine, because she's quite the wild one. Right? She's pretty wild. Think she's wild?
I agree.
Drugs, prostitution, rock and roll.
She's going
Sex,
all out.
drugs, and rock and roll, buddy.
Yeah.
By her early 20s, Karla started hanging out with a new group. This one was a group of bikers.
Oh. Like Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah. She's going from the rock and roll to bikers.
A little different.
And this is where Karla met Sean Dean and her husband, Jerry Lynn Dean. It's kind of weird to talk about a woman named Sean Dean, but that's her name.
Yeah, that's I don't think I've ever heard a woman with the name Sean.
Yeah, you have.
Who?
Sean Johnson.
Who?
That's Don Johnson, and he was
Sean Johnson.
Who's Sean?
The Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't count.
That's a girl named Sean, whatever.
But it is rare.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels was a girl, too.
No, that was...
Looks like a girl.
You know I'm cute. You think I'm sexy. Man, you keep throwing me off with these things today. Wow. So Karla meeting Sean and Jerry Lynn Dean. The couple will introduce Karla to a man named Danny Garrett. That is not going to go well. This is going to be the tragedy in the making.
Ooh.
Karla and Danny Garrett would begin dating a couple years later, and life was good, or something of that nature. Karla Faye Tucker was not only into a new relationship, she was heavily into drugs now as well. And with drugs, bikers, and all that good stuff, is going to come some pretty bad stuff.
Oh, I'm sure.
So after spending a weekend doing drugs with her boyfriend Danny Garrett and their friends, Karla and Garrett decided to do something a little risque. A little criminal act.
Like a robbery?
Pretty much. Karla had actually stolen the keys to Jerry Dean's apartment, his house. And while Sean was looking for these keys, like, we lost our keys, can't find our keys. Karla's like, oh, that's terrible, but the whole time she has them. She stole the keys.
Oh, yeah.
So that was the setup to what's about to happen. On Monday, June 14th, 1983, around 3 a.m, Karla and her friends, which was Danny Garrett and a friend named James LeBrant, they're going to go over because Karla said that she wanted to basically that the Deans owed her some money. And she was going to go get it one way or the other. And if she couldn't get money from him, they were going to rob him of like his motorcycle and some other stuff, some parts.
Wow.
Basically to get drugs. They were going to get drug money. Now they go and get in the house, and Jerry Dean is asleep in the bed. So Karla Faye Tucker and Garrett go into Dean's bedroom while their friend James is outside looking for Jerry Dean's El Camino. So we're looking at still in that as well.
Wow, so that and the bike, huh?
Yeah. And Karla goes in and sits down on Jerry Dean's chest.
What?
And he wakes up and starts fighting with her, struggling with her. Garrett sees this, grabs a hammer, and starts hitting Jerry Dean in the head.
Wow.
With the hammer.
Brutal.
So, I mean, he does so much damage to Jerry Dean's head, it actually becomes unhinged from his neck.
Oh,
damn.
And his breathing passages start to fill with fluid.
Wow.
So Danny Garrett leaves the room, he's taking care of the threat, or so he thinks, and leaves the room. And leaves Karla Faye Tucker in the room with him. Now, this gurgling sound starts to bother her to the point where she wanted to make him stop from making that noise. She takes a pickaxe and starts to deal some damage with that pickaxe to Jerry Dean, hitting him in the chest.
What's the point?
To make him stop gurgling.
Wow.
You already knocked his head off.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he's still alive though, and this is aggravating her.
That's crazy.
So she's got this pickaxe and she's hitting him in the chest with this pickaxe, and it's killing this guy. I mean, into his chest, into his chest, into his chest. Garrett comes back into the room and sees Karla with that pickaxe dealing the final blow into his chest. He said as he walked into the room, she looks over at him and smiles and runs the pickaxe down one more time into his chest.
Wow.
This chick's
Now,
crazy.
Yeah, so much so that she described later as it being so sexually gratifying
What?
that she had multiple orgasms while killing this guy with a pickaxe.
What the hell?
Yeah.
That is really weird.
Garrett again leaves the bedroom to start loading up Dean's motorcycle parts into the vehicle. And Tucker was left again in the room by herself with the dead body of Jerry Dean. And that's when she notices that there is a pile of bed covers over against the wall. And there's a woman, Deborah Thornton, who had met Dean at a party earlier that afternoon, who had spent the night over there because her and her husband had gotten into an argument and he left her there. She was new to the area, just moved to Houston, and he ends up taking her home, and she's spending the night there. Let's talk about wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
So she discovers this woman, Deborah Thornton, hiding in those covers.
Wow.
And she goes after her, throws the pickaxe towards her, grazes her shoulder, and then Thornton and Tucker, Karla Faye Tucker, are fighting it out.
Yeah.
So they're wrestling around. But once again, Garrett comes back into the rescue and separated them. And that's when Karla Faye Tucker proceeded to hit Thornton repeatedly with a pickaxe and then embedded the axe into her heart.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
But again, she testifies that she experienced multiple intense orgasms with each blow of the pickaxe.
That's some weird shit.
Yeah.
Very, very weird. You just killed two people with a pickaxe.
Right.
There is reports, however, that say, conflicting reports, I will say, that say that Karla didn't kill Thornton, that Garrett actually killed her when he came back in. But the authorities believe basically it was Karla Faye Tucker that finished her off. So they kill these two people, get what they need, and leave. Right? Scot-free.
Yeah.
The next morning, one of Jerry Dean's co-workers stopped by the house because he needed a ride. He was supposed to be riding with him, I believe, to work. And he goes to the apartment and walks in and discovers the bodies of Thornton and Dean. Calls it in, and that's when the investigation starts. Now, what happens, how they get caught, is relatives of Garrett and Karla Faye Tucker hear them bragging about what they've done and how they got away with it.
Oh, wow.
They're bragging.
They always do that. Somebody always does that.
Yeah.
Like, why are you bragging? Just shut up.
So those people go to the police and basically say, these are the people that are responsible. You need to arrest them. So they, in turn, arrest Garrett and Tucker. In September of 1983, Tucker and Garrett were indicted, but tried separately for the murders. Tucker entered a plea of not guilty and was jailed awaiting trial. Now, she admitted to killing him.
Yeah.
But when she put her plea in, upon direction of her lawyers, she pled not guilty, which is weird to me.
Yeah, I find it too late at that point.
Right.
Very. Now, she's in prison for murder, and in the prison they have this Christian ministry that comes in and performs or whatever. So they come in and do some kind of performance for them. And afterwards, Karla Faye Tucker went to this performance. Afterwards, she steals a Bible, takes it back to her cell, and starts to read it. She would eventually read into it so much She said she found herself in the middle of her cell floor on her knees begging for forgiveness. It was the first time that she had admitted or actually recognized what she had done. So now she is a Christian, if you want to call it that.
Interesting.
I can see it.
So she's made her change. Now, I know we debate this an awful lot of, can someone change that commits such heinous crimes?
I've said it once and I'll say it a million times. There's only a certain group of people that can be rehabilitated.
Yeah.
Sex offenders.
Sex offenders. You can't rehabilitate them. Might as well kill them.
Yep.
Yep, but this lady just killed 2 people with a pickaxe and had orgasms doing it.
True.
She steals a Bible, which is also stilling.
Yeah.
Granted, it's a Bible and it's in prison. She borrowed it, I guess you could say. Reads it and finds Jesus. She became a Christian in October of 1983, right? All the while she's awaiting her conviction. And although the death penalty was hardly ever sought for female defendants, Tucker, along with Garrett, were both sentenced to death in late 1984. Now, Garrett, just to get him out of the way, he's never going to see the death chamber because he dies in prison of liver disease years later in 1993.
Dang.
Still, 9 years later?
Yeah.
9 years, you should have done something before then, but
Oh, yeah, definitely.
that's another story. Karla Faye Tucker, on the other hand, is in prison doing well. The warden likes her. The guards like her. They say she's a completely changed person. She does a lot with the other inmates as far as helping them seek the Christian faith. She has a reverend that comes in and does his little outreach thing, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So this reverend, Dana Lane Brown, who comes and ministers to the prisoners, actually starts to have a relationship with Karla Faye Tucker. So she's evidently Christian enough for this reverend to start to have a relationship with.
What kind of relationship we talking?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Well, they got married.
What?
Inside the prison. Had a little ceremony inside the prison.
Interesting.
I'll be.
Evidently, he thought she was reformed.
I guess so.
Between 1984 and 1992, several requests for retrials and appeals are denied. But on June 22nd, Tucker requested that her life be spared on the basis that she was under the influence of drugs at the time of the murders, and she would not have committed the murders had she not taken drugs, and she was now a reformed person. Now, this plea is going to get her a lot of attention from a lot of important people who then began to fight for an appeal on her behalf to Texas. And this isn't just local people. These are big name people. The United Nations Commissioner appeals for her.
Really?
The World Council of Churches, Pope John Paul II,
Dang.
Italian Prime Minister Romano Prodi, the Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives, a man by the name of Newt Gingrich. You ever heard of him?
Oh, yeah.
Televangelist Pat Robertson and Ron Carlson, who was the brother of Tucker's murder victim, Debbie Thornton. So, Debbie Thornton, the one that she killed with the pickaxe that was hiding under the blankets, her brother is fighting for her appeal.
Wow.
The warden of Texas's Huntsville prison testified that she was a model prisoner and that after 14 years on death row, she likely had been reformed. But the board said, kiss our balls, and turned her down on the 28th of January, 1998. So there's a lot of people that are fighting for her not to get the death penalty, saying she's reformed and that she's a good person now. But the board still says, nah, it's Texas, baby. Although if you had said that you needed a priest to touch your head in the death chamber and they wouldn't allow it, they would stay your execution.
She'd still be on death row.
Yep.
Yeah. While on death row, Karla Faye Tucker was incarcerated in the Mountain View unit at Gatesville, Texas. And she became Texas Department of Criminal Justice death row inmate number 777.
Not so lucky.
Not so lucky. She actually, her last plea to try and get a stay of execution went to the Maine governor in Texas at the time, a gentleman by the name of George Bush. Ever heard of him?
Maybe once or twice.
Is that George W?
That's George Bush.
George
The
Bush.
original George Bush?
The letter was to George W. Bush.
Okay.
George W.
George
W.
Is that the same George W that said, fool me once, shame on me? Fool me twice, you'll never fool me again?
Fool me, you can't get fooled again.
What a
He
genius.
was also like, there are several gynecologists that enjoy their work with a woman.
Man, he was an
He
idiot.
literally said the best things.
Oh, did he? Hey,
He's just stupid.
he should have his own reality show because I would watch it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he was hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to get into politics on like how he ran the country or anything like that, but as far as being able to laugh, that dude was hilarious. Like, he would come up with some funny stuff, and he's to this day is still funny. Like
With
him,
Michelle Obama?
Oh, yeah.
He always does stuff with her.
he found a piece of candy in a suit pocket and gave it to him. That's it. So,
Oh, man.
So yeah, this Karla Faye Tucker's fate lies in the hands of George W. So she sent a letter to him, and some of the things she said in the letter, there's a couple excerpts. Like she said, a long time ago, I tried to blame my mother for how I ended up. I tried to blame drugs. I tried to blame our society. I tried to blame everybody but myself, and I no longer blame anyone for my actions. Just basically saying she's reformed. She's taken blame for her actions. She ends the letter by saying, I can't bring back the lives I took, but I can, if I am allowed, help save lives. That is the only real restitution I can give.
Pretty deep.
Yeah. Fell on deaf ears. So, didn't work.
Yeah.
On February 2nd of 1998, state authorities took Tucker from the unit in Gatesville and flew her to Huntsville at the Huntsville unit, where Karla Faye Tucker would have her last meal, which was a banana, a peach, and a garden salad with ranch dressing.
Pretty healthy.
Very healthy. That would not be my last meal.
No, me neither.
No, me neither.
Me neither.
That would be like my appetizer. Salad, peach, and nanner. I'm getting ready to die. Give me a filet. She selected 5 people to watch her die, including Thornton's husband, Richard, and his 2 stepchildren who supported the death penalty, and Thornton's brother, Ronald Carson, who we had talked about opposed her being executed. And he had actually visited her on death row. Ronald Carlson did. That's why he opposed it, because he went, spent time with her, and realized, she's been changed, and she's big on her faith. And so they asked Karla what her last words were, if she had any, and her last words were, "Yes, sir. I would like to say to all of you, the Thornton family and Jerry Dean's family, that I am so sorry. I hope God will give you peace with this. She looked at her husband and said, baby, I love you. To Ronald Carlson, she said, Ron, give Peggy a hug for me. She looked at all present, weeping and smiling, and said, everybody has been so good to me. I love all of you very much. I'm going to be face to face with Jesus now. Warden Baggett, thank you all so much. You have been so good to me. I love you all very much. I will see you all when you get there. I will wait for you.
Wow.
She was executed by lethal injection, and 8 minutes after receiving the injection, she was pronounced dead at 6:45 p.m. She was the first woman to be executed in the state of Texas in 135 years.
Dang.
Wow.
She is buried at Forest Park Lawndale Cemetery in Houston, Texas. Now that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because she, like I said, she sent off a huge debate of a lot of people fighting for her, saying, you know, she doesn't need to die. She doesn't deserve to die now that she's a changed person.
Right.
I get that, and my thought on that is like, yeah, you're a changed person, but you still did it. You know, it might have been 20 years ago, but you still did what you did.
Yeah.
You know, you have to pay for what you've done.
Yeah.
It's just my thoughts.
Well, a year after she was executed, a conservative commentator by the name of Tucker Carlson had a spiel about Governor George W. Bush and how the Board of Pardons and Parole had arrived at the decision to not pardon her. Carlson blamed Bush for mocking and basically poking fun of the fact that Karla Faye Tucker had given an interview to Larry King, talk show host Larry King. So he was basically saying, you know, you're picking on her because she gave an interview about what had happened.
Right.
And that's why you came to the decision to not pardon her. And Bush would come out later and say that that was all hogwash. In 2004, a full-length movie titled Forevermore, starring actress Karen Jezik, came out, and that was based on the life of Karla Faye Tucker.
Never seen that.
Now you probably can. I don't know where. Go to Blockbuster and rent it.
There you go.
Still got your Blockbuster card?
Blockbuster. No.
Me either. Be cool if you did, though.
Why? You couldn't use it anywhere.
Yeah, but it'd be worth money.
Yeah.
For what?
Could sell it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Sounds cool, though.
No.
That is the story of Karla Faye Tucker. Now, I know your feelings on it of, you did it, you gotta die.
Not necessarily. That's not how I feel, but I mean,
and I'm not saying you're wrong, but what I'm doing is being the devil's advocate here and saying, it's what prison's supposed to be, right? To reform?
yeah, but not when you've been sentenced to death.
True. But at what point do we say, is putting someone to death that is changed and is a better person,
But you're not put to death based on your later years. You're put to death based on what you did back at that time. So
But the issue to
it's easy to, you know, when you're doing you're sentenced to death, it's easy then to act like you're this changed person to try to get all these people. You know? That's easy to do.
I think my issue with it is when you have such a gap in time from convicting someone of doing such a heinous crime to carrying out the execution, that you get to a point where you're like, you're really killing a changed person.
Yeah.
In this case, not everybody's going to change in prison.
Right.
Not every person that's executed should be spared of their life. But when you leave a gap of 10, 15 years, people can change.
Yeah.
And then what's the point of it? I mean, she's ministering to other females in the prison trying to change their lives.
True.
I mean, are you doing more harm than help there? That is the debate, my friends.
I would love to hear what everybody else thinks.
Me too. I would also like to know what everybody thinks about our drowning chamber. Because if they'd have drowned her right afterwards, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
That's true.
There wouldn't be the debate.
No.
Tucker Carlson wouldn't be on TV saying, George Bush is mean. George Bush wouldn't be like, now listen, Karla Faye Tucker, if you kill once, you kill me, you can't get killed again. So that is the story of Karla Faye Tucker.
Yeah, it's a good one.
What do you got for me, Rex?
Just the usual. If you haven't done so, go to our Facebook page, give us a like. If you have any comments, questions, ideas, you can email us at eviltransgression@gmail.com. Dustin?
You can go to eviltransgression.com and check out our Patreon stuff and all that. And we also have a new shirt. So if you become a Patreon, you get a new shirt.
It's exclusive.
Only going to be on Patreon. So at least go check it out. You know, give it a look, see what it looks like. You know,
shout out to Kiona.
Yes.
For the design of that shirt.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
Go check it out.
The old death couch. Right?
You weren't supposed to tell them.
Oh, sorry.
Go figure it out on the
Yeah, go figure it out, stupids. Sorry. I blew that, didn't I?
Yeah. It's all good.
Yeah, sign up for Patreon. It has been revamped. Stick with it. Yeah, all the deets are there. The deets.
That's right.
You can also, if you're like, I don't want to be a Patreon, I don't want to be cool, you can just go to our Threadless store and buy you some shirts. Got a sweet little front back design shirt.
Yep. Man, there's a tip jar on the website too.
Tip jar, throw us a bone. Get Dustin a Pepsi because he likes to drink and burp in my ear when we record.
Does.
Whatever.
You do.
He's loud too.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Bump
He likes to bump the mics, move around a lot in his chair.
It's his hat. Speaking of hats, do we need to get into hats?
No, we're good.
Okay. All right, Evil Mob. It was fun. It was fun, wasn't it?
It was.
Let us know what you think about Karla Faye Tucker and her redemption. She redeemed? Let us know. And until next time.
See ya.
See ya.
Peace.